More than 70 million people would eventually die. Entire cities would be destroyed. Powerful empires would collapse, and the world would never be the same again. But before the bombs, before the battles, and before the destruction, one question remains. Why did World War II begin? To understand the answer, we must travel back to the end of World War I. In November 1918, the First World War finally came to an end. Europe was devastated. Millions of soldiers had been killed, economies were shattered, and entire nations were struggling to recover. The victorious Allied powers believed Germany was responsible for the conflict. In 1919, they forced Germany to sign the Treaty of Versailles. The treaty imposed harsh conditions. Germany lost territory, reduced its military, surrendered its colonies, and agreed to pay enormous reparations. Many Germans felt humiliated. To them, the treaty was not a fair peace agreement. It was a punishment. As years passed, anger continued to grow. Then, another crisis arrived. In 1929, the Great Depression spread across the world. Businesses collapsed, unemployment skyrocketed, and millions of people struggled to survive. Germany was hit especially hard. Factories closed, families lost their income. Many people began losing faith in democratic leaders. At this moment, a politician named Adolf Hitler gained attention. Hitler promised jobs, strength, and national pride. He claimed Germany had been betrayed and that he could restore the nation to greatness. His speeches attracted huge crowds. As economic conditions worsened, support for the Nazi Party increased rapidly. In January 1933, Adolf Hitler became Chancellor of Germany. Once in power, he moved quickly. Political opponents were removed, the press was controlled, critics were silenced. Germany became a dictatorship. At the same time, Hitler rebuilt the country's military. This was a direct violation of the Treaty of Versailles. Yet Britain and France did little to stop him. Hitler soon realized that the major European powers wanted to avoid another war at almost any cost. This encouraged him to take greater risks. In 1936, German troops entered the Rhineland. In 1938, Germany annexed Austria. Again, no military action was taken. Later that same year, Hitler demanded the Sudetenland region of Czechoslovakia. European leaders feared another war. At the Munich Conference, Britain and France agreed to Hitler's demands in the hope of preserving peace. This policy became known as appeasement. For a short time, it seemed successful. But Hitler saw it differently. He believed his opponents were weak. In March 1939, Germany occupied the rest of Czechoslovakia. The promise of peace had failed. Britain and France finally realized that Hitler's ambitions would not stop. They guaranteed Poland's independence. If Germany attacked Poland, they would go to war. Hitler was aware of this warning. However, he had already prepared his next move. In August 1939, Germany signed a Non-Aggression Pact with the Soviet Union. The agreement shocked the world. Secretly, the two nations agreed to divide parts of Eastern Europe between them. This meant Hitler could attack Poland without immediately worrying about a Soviet attack from the east. The path to war was now open. On September 1, 1939, German forces invaded Poland. Using tanks, aircraft, and fast-moving troops, Germany launched a devastating blitzkrieg attack. Polish defenses struggled to resist. Then, on September 17th, the Soviet Union invaded Poland from the east. Poland was trapped between two powerful armies. Within weeks, the country was defeated. Britain and France had reached their limit. On September 3, 1939, both countries declared war on Germany. World War II had officially begun. What started as a conflict over Poland would soon spread across Europe, Africa, Asia, and the Pacific. It would become the deadliest war in human history. And this was only the beginning. In the next chapter, Germany unleashes blitzkrieg across Europe, France collapses, and Britain stands alone against Nazi Germany.